Hi guys, thanks for coming back to another video. Guys, I received some information that I think I needed to go ahead and bring forth. The information that I received today is in regards to an event, an upcoming event, actually one that I really feel like is going to be here really, really soon. That particular information I received today, but really in order for me to discuss that information, I kind of have to back up a little bit and lead into it. There's been some things that have changed a little bit with me. I still seek the Lord. I still receive His messages. Some of the last several videos I've shared, still some of those that I am receiving from the Lord. I still seek the Lord. I still pray. I still praise. I still receive dreams. I still receive visions. I've just been, since I've been off of YouTube, when he basically said, you know, this is done, this is finished. He's been taking me and teaching me a lot of different things. I've learned a lot of different things, and he's allowed me to experience some things that truly I never thought I would, to be honest. And so I've met some people in the spirit. I've experienced some things. I've continued with my studies. He is still trying to show us new and different things to ensure that we know who we are in Him and what our future is going to entail. He is definitely a Father and a Lord and a King that ensures that He wants His people to know what's upcoming. He doesn't like having any surprises coming out for His children. So I just wanted to kind of update you a little bit. The changes that's been going on, even though all of that is still remaining the same. My journal is still full, complete new journals, full of all of His loving kindness and messages and things and studies that I've noted down. But I'm actually now pressing more into the Spirit. The information that I'm receiving, pressing into the Spirit, is it is stuff that I probably would have never envisioned or could even imagine seeing, to be honest. In one of the last videos, I'm trying to think, I don't think it was the last one, but maybe the one before that, where I was talking about the Lord had called me before the throne. The Father had called me before the throne. And I said in that video that when I pressed into the Spirit, I still couldn't see anything. I couldn't see anything. I knew, I could sense that I was in front of the Father, but I couldn't see anything. Since that time, I have pressed into the Spirit several times, and I have been able to see some things. It was in the Spirit today that I received the new information that I want to talk to you all about. I think it's important for me to come into it so that you guys can see what the Lord has been showing me as we have progressed up into this, and so that you can understand what I have been seeing. It's still relatively new to me. It is something that I have not been able to understand 100%. I'm still very timid in the Spirit. I don't go into the Spirit and go running off. I definitely pray, ask for protection. I want to only go through the door of the Lord Jesus Christ. I want Him to be there with me. I'm very timid, a little bit nervous in the Spirit, but the Lord has been bidding me to come to Him, walk forth boldly, my child. He has been telling me that for some time, and I just always assumed it would be when he called my name, I would walk forth boldly unto him. I would. But I think I had a moment one particular day, and I just said, I'm going to walk forth boldly to my Lord in the Spirit. And so I prayed to him. I asked him about it. I made sure that everything was okay. Just recently in another message, he was trying to explain to me about an event that was upcoming. And he did say to me in the message, daughter, if you will allow me, I will show you these. And I said, to take me there, to show me? And he said, yes. And I said that maybe he would be giving me a dream or a vision of some sort. But I never received a dream or a vision in regards to it. But what I received today was in the Spirit. And I think it also touches back to that event that he was talking about in, I think it was my last video. So a little bit of background. The Lord opened my ear, and I was able to hear his messages. I was able to hear his voice, and all of these years I have been sharing his messages. Dreams, visions, and all those studies we went through, my journal pages, some of those videos, you guys know exactly what was in my journal because I was telling you what was in my journal. However, I've not been released to do that anymore. I've not been released to do that. And so I can only share what I really feel like the Lord is asking me to share publicly. But the information that I received today, I felt was pretty important to get out. So on March the 8th, that was the very first time that I actually pressed into the Spirit and I was able to see. I want to talk to you all about all 3 times of pressing into the Spirit. I want to talk to you about what I saw, how I got there, who was there, and what all happened while I was there. Now, when I pressed into the Spirit on this particular day, and I was able to see March the 8th, I had already done my morning prayer, my morning praise, discussions with the Lord. This was not my morning spend time with the Lord routine. This was not the normal. This was a separate part of the day. I was specifically focused on talking with him and pressing into the Spirit. And so what I did is I had talked with him and asked him to please protect me. I didn't want to go into the Spirit through any other door but him. I wanted to make sure he was there. And I had a lot of discussions with him before I went in. And I basically had said to him, Lord, I'm coming forth boldly now. I didn't really understand everything that you were trying to tell me at that point, but I'm coming forth boldly to you today. And so I was really surprised to see what I saw there, and what was told to me. I truly was. The question in my mind was, after it was done the first time, what was it waiting there for me the whole time? I mean, was it waiting there for me the whole time? I don't know. But while I was pressing into the Spirit that day, I envisioned a curtain. I envisioned a curtain in front of me. And, I walked through the curtain. And not like a trans relocation where you would walk through a wall or anything like that. No, I actually saw the curtain split like if you were at a movie theater and they still had those old red velvet curtains that would cover the screen, it split open, and I was able to stick my head through and take a step through. It took me a minute to see what was on the other side. My eyes could not see clearly. And I know this. I did not take many steps off of the curtain. I knew that curtain was right directly behind me. If I felt the need that needed to step out, it would not take me but just a second to step out. I had no idea what to expect. I was a little bit nervous. But when my eyes were able to focus, I saw a river in front of me. That was the first thing that I saw. And it was ahead of me. Not real far, but it was ahead of me. And I sensed someone was off to my right, some type of a figure. I couldn't see clearly. And so I got on my knees and I bowed down and I said, Father God, thank you. And I heard this. He said, my love, it is yours. And I'm still bowed down. And I said, what is mine? And he said, my glory. I then heard, my robe for you. Cast your care upon me. I asked the Lord to take all that was in my heart, just right there in the Spirit. I asked him to take all that was in my heart that did not belong there, just to remove it, to cleanse it, to get rid of it. Heaviness of sin, sins past, any disrespect I would have had, words or thoughts, any types of judgments or even opinions, I said, I give them all over to you, Lord. He said, empty yourself, my love. So I envisioned, while I was bowed down in the Spirit, I envisioned the middle area of my body opening up, and I just pushed all of that out. In my mind, I could see the center area of my body just opening up, and I was just pushing it out, just like, get out, And so he said, empty yourself, my love. And so I envisioned that, and I just let it all drop from me. And I didn't stop pushing it out until I felt like it was gone. And I lifted my head and I looked at the water. It was still right there in front of me. And I was looking around, but I was not able to see past the river. I wasn't able to see what was on the other side of the river. The river was moving and flowing from the left to the right. And I had a quick thought that if I could go near it, But I opted to stay quiet in thinking, because I recalled that, he can read our thoughts. And so I said, I'm going to stay quiet in my thinking at this point. But the next thing I knew, I was standing near the water's edge. It was like I was right there by the water, looking down. It was a tan color ground. It wasn't dirt, brown, black, or anything like that. It was a tan colored ground near the water's edge. It was tan. And I had a sense of something small, like a circle, down nearer in the water on the right. It was like a small circle something, but I could not see it clearly enough. I didn't know what it was. I couldn't see it clearly enough to see if it was in the water, or if I was just being given that thought by the Lord. I don't know, but I couldn't see it. And in my mind, I asked the Lord. I didn't even move my mouth. I just asked the Lord. I said, Lord, why am I here? What am I doing here? And this is what he said to me. He said, it is your turn. I said, my turn? He then told me to look up. Now, I wondered for an instant if I should look up here in the physical or in the spirit. And I said, no, I need to look up in the sky, or look up here in the spirit. And so I looked up like I was looking at the sky. And I vaguely saw a face, a big face. I could not get a clear focus, but I knew it was a face. I looked down at the water again and looked around, and then I looked back up at the sky, and this time it was now an eagle's face, a large eagle's face. And I looked back down at the water and all around again, and I kind of started backing toward the curtain a little bit. I had moved forward to the water, so I started backing away a little bit till I kind of felt like it was right directly behind me, and it was like I was trying to get my bearings, So I looked up in the sky again, expecting to see the eagle's face, and I now saw mountains. So when I looked up the first time, it was a big face, like a man's face. The second time I looked up, it was an eagle's face. And then the third time that I looked up, it was mountains. It was mountains. Now, I didn't know what to think about this. I truly didn't. I got back down on my knees in the spirit, and I was bowing down again. And I asked the Lord to help me understand. And he said, your glory has come. Receive it. And I wondered just how to do that. I closed my eyes and I recalled releasing things earlier. And so I stood up and I opened my spirit as much as I could in my mind. I stood up and I just opened my spirit. In my mind, I could just see my spirit opening. Okay? And I could vaguely see waves of light in my mind. It's like that would be one wave, and then the next one, that would be another wave. And I saw the waves of light in my mind. It was moving over my mind's eyes because my eyes were closed. I understood while this was happening that it will manifest soon in the physical. So that was the end of being in the spirit that first time. And as I sat right directly after I finished being in the spirit, two things that I noticed. I noticed that I had a extreme sense of calm and peace over my body. But I also recognized how extremely tired I was. I was very tired. I was completely drained. I could have laid down and taken a nap right then. So that was my first experience in the Spirit. I would have never thought I would have expected to have that type of experience, but I did. And interesting that what I saw, the man's face, the eagle's face, what came to mind was the creatures around the throne that had the four faces of the ox, the man, the eagle, and the lion. But the mountains came up, and when I saw the mountains, I thought, Mount Zion? That's what I thought. Now, the Lord was saying it was my turn, meaning those came before me, there will be those after me as to when it will be their turn. But this is documenting my turn, and it was my turn for glory, and that I needed to receive it. Now, being in the Spirit, I knew that it was going to be manifesting very soon upon the earth. The date of this, March the 8th. Okay. So that's the first time. The second time I was in the Spirit, this one basically gave me a little bit more, it gave me a little bit more detail as to where I was. I was able to see a little bit further. When I went through the curtain, I went through the veil, I saw the skyline that was blue. I saw the river. There was something on my left and my right. Okay, that figure, which was I don't know who it was. Was it Jesus? Was on my right in the last time. I still could not see what some of the things was, but I found out what was on my left was a horse. It was a large horse, and it was it was light tan in color, and it had a wavy, long mane, blondish white in color. I go to touch its nose, and it's like the horse stuck it out for me so that I could touch it. Very, very interesting. But it sprung up its head like it heard something coming, and it was looking off in the distance. It heard something, and then some birds flew off on my right. So I knew someone was coming on my right, and I see something else. Is it a tree? I don't know. But now the horse nudges me with its nose to move me into that particular direction, because I'm telling you, I'm very timid. I don't move around a lot in the Spirit. The first couple of times that I went there, I didn't see as clearly, and so I wasn't able to see very far, and so it's like walking around in the dark. You take smaller steps when you can't see. So the horse nudged me, and he nudged me toward my right, and so it's like I seemed to take one step, and then I would stop, and I'd take another step, and I would stop, and I would just try to get my bearings. I saw a yellow, pale, bright light off in front of me a bit, and I start walking slowly toward that light, and as I was writing and making notes, it moved. I couldn't find it. When I looked up again around in the Spirit, it was like I didn't see it anymore. It was gone. Like, well, where did it go? And then I realized, it went up above. It had gone up above me, and it was moving toward my right in the sky. Now, I really don't know what that is. I don't know what that was. I'm seeing my angels. So then I see a tree on my right. Now, this is right there by the water's edge. I didn't see a tree the first time I was there. I couldn't see it. So this time I walked toward the tree and I touched the bark of the tree. I'm able to touch it. I stand beside it with my right hand on the tree and I'm overlooking the water. And I look up, I see green leaves on the tree. There's a slight breeze. And so I sit down. And I sit right down there on the bank, right next to the tree, and I close my eyes and I start to pray. And my head down is in my arms on my knees. And I said, Lord, why am I so timid here? Where are you? I cannot see clearly here. So I look again over the water and I can see the ripples. I can see the currents in the water. There's movement there. And I think I hear someone calling from afar on my right. Are they calling or just speaking to someone? I couldn't quite make it out. And I turn and I see a path. There's a path beside the tree leading to the tree that I'm at. And I see footsteps coming toward me. And this is what I'm hearing. I'm either hearing the word Arabelle or Ariel. So I'm not sure what Arabelle or Ariel. Ariel means sprite or lion of God. And Arabelle means yielding to prayer. So that's not another name that the Lord has actually, or I hate to say the Lord did it because someone was calling my name and awoke me in the middle of the night, but it was not the name that I have now. It was a different name. And that particular name means humble and meek. So I don't know. I don't want to share that one publicly. I'll leave that one until I'm told I can share that one. So anyway, these are the names that I'm hearing. Am I being called this? I wasn't sure. And then I also heard this word, astute. Astute. And so I said, when I hear Arabelle or Ariel, I said, here I am, Lord. Now, I guess I was understanding in the spirit that this was my name. I arose and I went to hug him, and I had to smile. He asked me. He said, "How was your trip?" That's what he said. He said, I just pressed into the spirit, and here he comes. He's coming down the path. He's calling some name that I guess is mine. And so he comes to me and he asks me, how was your trip? Sometimes he can be really funny. I had to smile. He meant into the spirit. And I held on to his arm with both of my hands and I walked with him. And I said, my Lord, when can I come home? He said, not nearly as long as you think. I said, minutes or months? That's what I wanted to know, minutes or months. He said, my dear, why do you wonder so? Have I not said I am coming for you? My thoughts went to, am I being too much? Am I asking too much? And I didn't say it out loud, but my thoughts went to it. And he said, my dove, you shall fly soon. And I started looking down at the path, and I realized there's purple flowers planted along each side of the path. And I don't know what they are. I said, what are these? And the Lord said, forget-me-nots. And so I looked past him, and I saw a city in the distance, a bigger city, or it had tall buildings anyway. And I could see an arched bridge crossing over the water. Now, I made a little sketch of it. I just want you to see kind of in my mind's eye what it looked like. So this was the tree. This was the path with the flowers. So the path led to the tree, but it also leads to the bridge. This is the water. And then back here was where some of the taller buildings are. And so I could see the bridge now. I could see that it was going over the water, and I could see past the water this time. I could see, that there were taller buildings back there. And I said, what's back there, Lord? And he said, my government. I said, your government? And he said, a town hall. That's what he said. And I said, oh. So we were at the top, kind of the center part of the bridge, and I was just kind of, I was looking down. I could see all of the water moving, and I'm leaning over the railing like a small child would be doing, tiptoeing, leaning over, a tall railing, trying to see what was going on. And I finally stopped, and I turned around and I grabbed his hands, and I said, I had asked him a question. I can't recall exactly what I asked him, but his answer was, your ways and mine are merging. That's what he said. And I actually had to go. I was being called at that time, and I just told him I was being called and I needed to go. And I stepped out. Through the veil. He said, my child, it is soon. That's what he said. Now, this second time that I was in the Spirit was on the 16th of March. The first one was the 8th, and this one was the 16th of March. Now, the third and final time that I was in the Spirit with the Lord was today. Well, I hate to say final time, but it was the last time that I have been so far. It was today, and what is today's date? The 28th of March. So this has been another 10 days. I made notes of it while I was sitting at my desk. I like to make notes of it. If I'm able to record it while I see it, that probably would be better. But I was not able to do that, so I had to make notes of it. I definitely want to document it and have it there because what the Lord gives me over all of these years, and I share with you, it's very, very encouraging at that time. But sometimes you can be going through a really rough time, and I can pick up my journal and start flipping through it and seeing again all the promises that the Lord has told me, all the times that he has told me how much he loves me, all the times that he has put forth what he is doing for me, all the times where he's given me guidance and instruction, and he has always been there for me, and he has comforted me and offered compassion. All of those times I can pick up my journal and go back through and encourage myself all over again and be reminded about the things that he has told me in the past. So it's very, very important to me to notate and document this stuff down. Whoever will get my books and my journals once I'm out of here, I pray, I've asked the Lord, make sure that these go to someone that will appreciate and share them with many, many people, because there is so much love in these things. There's so much information. There's so much comfort and guidance. Whoever gets all of my journals and books, I pray that it encourages them as much as it has done for me. So that's why it's so important for me to notate and document things down. I hope you guys have been keeping up with your journals. I hope you have. It's going to be so very important for you, and then once the Lord calls you on, for somebody else. Okay, so third time in the Spirit today. We're coming now to the information that the Lord has given me that I felt was so very important to share. I want to talk to you about what He has said to me. I see the water. I'm through the veil. I see the light. I see the water. Every time I have come through the veil, I have come through to the same place. It's the same starting place every time so far. I see the light. I see the water. I see the tree. I see the flowers. It seems like spring. Everything is new and fresh. I see the Lord on the path. I hugged Him and I called Him. Listen to what I called Him. I hugged Him and I called Him Sensei. That's what I called Him. I called Him Sensei. Now when I wrote it down as to what I called Him, I stopped immediately and went to look it up. Sem, S-E-M, in Hebrew means renown. And say, S-E-H. When I looked that up, it's Hebrews 7:7-1-6. It means one of the flock, sheep. So Sensei means a renown, sheep. I had no idea that I called Him Sensei. I call Him Sensei. I had no idea. So, synonyms for renown means eminence, prominence, prestige, nobility. This was Jesus. This was Jesus. I said, "Where have you been?" I asked Him. And He pointed to the city, the town hall. I said, "Lord, what must I do?" He said, "Come with me." So we walked down the path quietly, and I saw the flowers, and I saw the bridge ahead. And when we were atop the bridge, I saw the water flowing underneath. We crossed over to the other side and continued on the path. No words were spoken. It was quite quiet. It was like anything that He was saying, He was thinking it to me. No words were spoken. It was quite quiet. We came to something and stopped. Is it a tree? I wasn't sure. I couldn't see it quite clearly. Yes, it was a tree. And He's asking me to eat something of it. What is it? I asked. He said, nourishment for your soul while you are here. I saw the fruit. It looked like the shape and the size of an apple. But it was dark purple in color, like a large grape or a plum. And I took a bite of it. It was very, very juicy. And it was sweet. It wasn't tart like I expected it to be. And the juice was running down my hand. And I looked around while I was holding this piece of fruit, eating it. I was looking around, and I could see that the city extends farther than I could see before crossing the bridge. So now I'm being allowed to see a little bit more. And there's a tall white building ahead toward on my right. It's a tall white building. We continued walking, and a dog came by my side as we did, which was interesting. It seemed no time had passed when I found myself in front of this white building. And I looked up at it. It was quite tall. And I looked at what it was made out of. And for some reason, I wondered if it was made out of some type of limestone. Now, I looked up limestone and ancient Israel, and I found that different types of limestone were used in building of buildings and even the Wailing Wall in Israel. So this building was white like that, and it I don't know why I said it was limestone. I'm not a stonemason in any sense of the word. I have no idea about some of these different types of stones, but while I was there, that was what I questioned in my mind. And so as we walked in to this building, this white building, we were actually walking through rounded archways, going through archways. But the whole bottom corridor, this foyer type area, was open and airy. It wasn't, it wasn't walls and windows and that type of thing. It was, there was entrances from all four sides of this building, this bottom floor, and they were all arches to allowing people to come in. And the floors it looked like it was some type of marble flooring in there. But in the center of the foyer was a large round glass or crystal on the floor. It was large. I'm going to add a picture of something that I found in Google that I want you to take a look at. That it looks very, very similar to what it looked like. It was a huge round glass piece on the floor. Now, the glass was not flat to the floor. It actually had a slight hump to it, a slight dome effect to it. Not like a big dome like this, but just a slight hump to it, like maybe a bevel that you would see maybe in some prescription glasses, that where someone might need it a little bit more thick. It would have a slight roundness to it. That's what it looked like. And it was large. I could see others were standing around it as well. And it was in the center of the foyer of this building. And it was huge. Some people were standing around it as we were walking forward toward it. The glass seemed thick, and it seemed to have like a gray shade to it as I was approaching it, kind of a cloudy look to it as I was approaching it. Maybe that's probably a little bit more accurate. Was this a type of portal, I wondered? I said, "What is this, Lord? Why have you brought me here?" And I felt like I heard and thought, "Come, look and see." Now, it was at that instant I was reminded of what John wrote in Revelation when he was being told by the angels to come look and see, and it was the horses or or whatever it was that was being released at that time. Remember, each of them said, "Come, look and see." It was that same type of feel to it. I mean, it was instant that I immediately felt that. And so, I wondered, did he stand here also? Is this where he would have seen some of that stuff? So I slowly walked toward it, and to be honest, because that thought came into my mind, I was a little bit hesitant to look into the glass. But I walked toward it, and I did as the Lord asked me to do, and I looked into the glass. And when I looked into it, I said, "Oh, I see the earth." It was the earth at a distance. I could see the clouds above it. I could see where the sun was shining on one side of it. So I knew it was daylight, what I was looking at, where that sun was shining on the earth. And while I was looking at it, I was trying to decipher what continent I might have been looking at. What was he trying to show me specifically on the earth? I did see the earth move a little bit, but I was so focused on trying to see what he was trying to show me on the earth. Where on the earth is he trying to show me? Was something going to happen? And so I kept looking at it, and I turned and looked at the Lord, and because I wasn't really getting what he was trying to show me. I just couldn't make out what it was specifically he was trying to show me. And so he pointed back to the earth, and I turned and I looked at it again, and then all of a sudden I saw it. The earth vibrated. If this was the earth, that's what it did. It didn't wobble. It didn't do anything like that. What it did was, it was like a vibration. And so while I was looking at that, let me come back to my notes. While I was looking at that, I said, "Oh, I see the earth shudder a bit, not wobble. I saw it shudder. I saw it shake as if something vibrated it. It's a vibration force that shakes the earth. It's a vibration force that shakes the earth." And I said, "From where? From what?" And so while I'm looking in that glass at the earth, I'm looking all around it. I'm trying to see what's around the earth that would have caused this vibration. And I'm looking all around it. I saw nothing. I saw nothing near the earth that would have caused this vibration. And so I stopped for a minute, and I got online, and I Googled, this is what I Googled. I Googled vibrate the earth in space, and it pulled up like the sun, solar explosions that could vibrate the earth, things that happen on the earth. One article that I'm going to provide for you was Japan's huge earthquake and tsunami projected enough energy that all started expelling out into space. It could be felt in space. And so the things that I found when I was going through looking up what could have caused the vibration of the earth, we know that sound can cause vibrations. We know that some of the energy that is being released from the sun can cause vibrations, and also the energy being released from the earth can cause vibrations. And so if the earth was the one that vibrated, I don't know where it came from. I could see nothing. I saw nothing bump it. I saw no planets around it to have caused a problem, which is one of the things that we have kind of been seeing. Some messengers have been seeing, and so I saw none of that. But I saw the vibration. That's what it was. So I wanted to bring that to your attention, but yet something else. Once I saw the vibration, I saw now a white cloud that was coming toward me, and it was then held suspended in space. And so it was blocking my view now of the earth. I couldn't see the earth, but it was a white cloud of light. That's what it was, and it was not on the earth anymore. It was out, being suspended. I'm going to say in space, because that's what my understanding would have been. And it was in between me. I couldn't see the earth. And I said, Lord, what is this? And he said, my people removed. That's what he said. And I looked again, and it was like a large white cloud. And right at that time, I got back on my knees. I just said, Lord, you got to help me. You got to help me understand this clearly. And you got to help me see this clearly. There's a ribbon tied around the white cloud of light. It's a ribbon tied around them like a gift. It's tied with a bow. It's a pink ribbon. Now, I looked up to see what pink meant, and I'll leave you a couple of links, but pink is the color of red, which is the blood of Christ, and white, which is purity, mixed together, and that causes that pink. He said, these are my people removed, and they were tied with a pink ribbon and bow. They were suspended there. He removed them from harm. I said, where are they going, Lord? He said, they're going back. They are not yet ready. I said, Lord, please explain this to me. He said, my dove, actions are works put forth, put into being, into movement. Some hearts are static, no movement. A choice must be made. Now, right at that time, I understood several things. I understood that faith without works is dead. I also understood that no choice, a choice is made for you to remain until you make a choice. Satan will ensure a choice is made by the mark in the hand or the mark in the forehead that no one can buy or sell, and that those that take the choice for the Lord Jesus Christ after a certain point may be martyred for their choice in the Lord. I understood also that our hearts are our garden. That's our garden, our hearts. And that the land of our hearts must be tilled must be planted, must be tended to. All weeds must be gone. Now, guys, many, many times I brought to you that the Lord was breaking up old memories and old wounds and reminding me of things that I had forgotten about that even happened while I was a child. He was removing these things from me. He brought them to my memory for me to assess, for me to forgive, for me to release, and for it to be cast out, laid down at his feet once and for all. He was emptying my heart, the memories of my heart, things that happened my whole life, things that I didn't even remember. He was bringing to my memory, and he was getting them out. And it was some of the hardest times I've ever walked through. It was very difficult for some of these to be viewed again, to be looked at again. But the Lord has shown us this white cloud of light, his people that were removed, taken out of harm's way when that earth shook. They weren't quite ready yet. He had to send them back. But he had already proclaimed who they were. He said, those are my people. And he had them covered with a pink ribbon. There are those that believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, that have a static heart. This is what the Lord is saying. There are times we have to go through and we have to clear everything out of our heart. We have to lay it all down. The Lord said to me one time, I cannot fill what is full. I cannot fill what is already full. You have to get rid of it. The first experience I had in the Spirit was receiving his glory. It was my turn. Your turn is coming, if it hasn't already been done. Empty out what's in there. Empty out anything that's in there. Go to the Lord. Ask him to show you. Ask him to bring it to your memory. Do it once and for all, guys. Do it now. We have no more time. We have no more time. Do it now. Lay it down. Get rid of it. Forgive. Release. Lay it at his feet. If you have to be up all night wrestling with it tonight, don't let the dawn come up tomorrow morning and still have it within you. Get rid of it. If it takes you all night, get rid of it. If it takes you pacing your house all night, if it takes you crying all night, if it takes whatever it takes, get rid of it. Give it to him. He wants to take it. He wants to take it from you. He doesn't want you carrying it anymore. But it's more than he doesn't want you just carrying it anymore. He cannot fill what's already full. We are now to the point of being infilled by him, his Spirit, his love, his truth, his power. He's got to fill it. He's got to fill you. You're the vessel. He's going to make you a new wineskin. But we have to do our part. He has proclaimed these are his people. He has shown the color pink. That's red and white. We know what that means. He's speaking over these people. He knows who they're going to be. He knows they're going to turn. He knows they're going to get it done. Let's get it done quickly. I wanted to bring this forth to you. I saw the vibration. I don't know what caused it. In some of my last videos, I speculated. Is it this? Is it that? It's a vibration. What causes it? I don't know. I did not see anything around the earth. I did not see anything around the earth. But as soon as that vibration was done, I saw the white cloud of light. His people removed. So guys, I wanted to bring that to you. These are serious times right now, guys. And if you guys have seen that precious 8-year-old little boy from Sweden, his video, the information that he provided in that video spoke volumes to me. It resounded with my spirit. And I know a lot of people are, oh, he's got a date in there. He's got a date in there. Well, guys, I don't think he pulled that date out of the thin air. He couldn't have pulled all of those details out of thin air. He was given that information straight by the hand of God through the Holy Spirit or from the Lord Jesus Christ himself. He was given that information. Way too many details. Way too much confirmation. Precious little boy. He carried a very, very important message for the first fruits and for the bride. So guys, I wanted to bring forth the message that I had, the experience that I've had. I needed to go through all of those so that I could show you, going in through the Spirit and different things, just to show you that, it just expanded upon itself. I don't know if he's going to show me anymore. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to put up another video. I don't know how long we're going to be here. I can tell you this. I have been at the ready for the Lord to call my name every day for quite some time now. I go and rest my head tonight. It will be the same. I am expecting a call. When will that be? Will it be exactly as we think it will be? I don't know, but I know it's coming. I know the infilling is coming. I know it's all coming. So guys, are you ready? Can you search your heart just one more time? Can you go in prayer and say, Lord, please show me? Whatever it is, it's not worth hanging on to. It's not. Get rid of it. Give it over to him. Forgive, repent, release, turn, whatever you got to do. Wrestle all night with it to release it. Do it. Do it. Get rid of the worry. Turn. Walk away from it. Be a new person at that point. Guys, I bring all of this to you. I love you so very much. I pray that I'm going to be seeing some of you face to face so very soon. These are very exciting times that we are in at this time. God bless you all. Stay under his wing until we see each other.